What is up, Nintendo Land? Or rather, happy Thanksgiving, Nintendo Land. Welcome to Nintendo Open Air Podcast. Well, Nintendo has certainly given us a lot to be thankful for this week. We're about to have more Splatoon 2 content than awkward hugs from distant relatives at Thanksgiving dinner. And of course, the gravy on the mashed potatoes is Pocket Camp's early arrival. But before we begin the feast, let me introduce tonight's panel. We've got Mo, Z, and the Keeper of the Elder Scrolls, Max, with us tonight. So, Splatoon, major update. Got a nice video promoting all the new content. It's going to be rolling out later this week. Is anybody excited about it?
Yep, I am.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not super pumped. Like, I kind of don't like that part of the update is just they've added another, 49 levels to grind
Yes.
for no real reason. So now they max out at 99 instead of 50. So it's like the one thing I guess that's nice about that, if there is any nice takeaway from that, is all the tickets that I have for increased experience that were just wasted before. I can use some of those now. Because I didn't really get into the single player until after I had already maxed out in multiplayer.
When I first heard about the increased level cap, I thought it's because Mo's complaining about these tickets all the time.
That's right.
Tickets I'm wasting.
That's part of it. It's like, well, especially I think you get some of those too sometimes, maybe from like Grisco or something.
I think so.
Like, because somehow I notice every now and then it looks like I've got more. So I've probably got like 20 increased experience tickets and increased money ones that I never use. But yeah, I mean, they've got new hairstyles. Looks like they're adding a couple more levels. Maybe some new. It looks like there was like a champagne bottle weapon.
New Splatfest.
Yeah.
Just someone pointed out, looks a lot like the Kingsman umbrella.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Yep.
And then there's a
new
mode.
Map. Yeah, we do get a new mode. I think that's probably the biggest information there. Clan Blitz.
Which that's a ranked mode, right?
Sounds like, yep, that just sounds like a great ranked mode.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that makes me think is now there's another mode that I'm going to have to try to get up to S+ in.
And can you imagine the nightmare of trying to play that when it first launches?
I'm sure. Well, at least everybody will kind of be on sort of a level playing field with how it works, but people are going to be good.
Yep.
But because they did the ranked modes individually, that means it's like I felt it's like when Animal Crossing did their update. Like I felt like I had all the. I mean, I guess I still had all the badges. Luckily, they didn't add any more badges, but like I had pretty much all the furniture, and I was like, all right, I'm done with this. Then it's like, well, I basically was done with it until they added a whole bunch more content. Like so, Splatoon, I feel like I've played to death, and there's not really. I've got over 350 hours right now in Splatoon 2. So I've played a ton of it, and I don't know. I don't think this is going to breathe much freshness into it. No pun intended.
I think they're planning on rolling this out over the months until at least February. So I think it'll be good. But I mean, we were already expecting new maps, and they're bringing back some older maps, like Walleye Warehouse and Arowana Mall. I think were the two in the video.
Yeah.
Oh, the mall! I'm gonna have to come back for the mall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some good. I mean, they're fun levels. There wasn't really hardly any levels that I hated in the first game. So I mean, there's really not any that I hate in this one either. But
no.
You know, so I'm always happy to see these new levels. It's like as Splatoon 1.5 becomes Splatoon 1, as they keep adding all these classic levels.
Well, I mean,
it's nice that they're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's better to have more levels than fewer. Like if every successive Mario Kart game came out with every track that was in every previous Mario Kart game.
That's what I was just thinking. Like, yeah,
that'd be awesome.
That kind of reminds me of how they do that. But luckily in Splatoon 1, there were only so many courses anyway. I would love to see them like up the maps in rotation to like 4, and maybe make it so like you were guaranteed to never play the same one twice in a row.
That would be nice.
Or at least not like 6 times in a row.
Yeah.
Well,
It seems like I get into those patterns where it's like I play this one the same, like just over and over and over until I drop out and then rejoin, and then maybe it'll be on the different map for a while.
during our team Splatfest adventure, when Snapper Canal was in the rotation, for that 2 hours, we played Snapper Canal once. And that's with 3 different maps in the rotation, so we almost always got the new Shifty Station. But, yeah, I don't know if
I don't know how I feel about them limiting the maps. Like I know that was a complaint people had in the first game too, and it's like, I don't know if it would be better if just all maps were always active and you just randomly got what you got, or if they just increased the number of maps. Because it is nice to know what to expect, because you can kind of set some people might set different weapons for different matches. Like, on this one I'm going to use a roller, but I'd use a long range weapon on this. Like, I know, like for Moray Towers, sometimes I'll use like a jet squelcher or something that has longer range because of the long ramps that are on that.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I hope they add something in here where you can skip the Cali and Marina, or whatever it is.
Yes. I think that's what a lot of fans have wanted, well, from Splatoon 1 since inception.
Yeah.
And I don't know why we can't have that.
I don't think they're going to do it either. But
no.
Like I said, that's the biggest thing that bothered me. It bothered me that they added the function for Sheldon's weapon shop that you can speed up his talk. And like they acted like they were addressing something. They're like, we've also added the feature to speed up his little talk so you don't have to listen to his weapons descriptions. And I'm like, but nobody really ever complained about that, because that's something that happens one time for each weapon and that's it.
Right.
It happens every time you boot up the game, and sometimes just when the stage is reset.
Yeah. If Grisco becomes active, you're suddenly going to listen to it again.
Yeah, although it is nice when Grisco doesn't become active and it's just like the maps have been updated and you're just back in and ready to go.
Yeah.
Because it didn't in the first one, didn't it always do the break?
Yep, always.
So they did improve it a little bit. It looks like they added some sort of little photo crap to it too, where you can do different things for taking photos, but I don't know that. It's weird that Nintendo doesn't mind promoting their games that way. Like, take lots of photos and post them to your social media. Show video of you actually playing it. Unless it's a 30-second clip on Twitter. That's okay. Or a 30-second clip on Facebook. It's weird how they don't mind marketing that way. Just as long as you're not doing a full YouTube play. I guess.
Nintendo has very weird ideas when it comes to promotion of their content.
But it's nice. I can't remember if they had said originally that they were going to do like 2 years of DLC for Splatoon 2, or if they actually outlined how long they were going to do it, but they were pretty generous with the first game.
I got that they were doing this through February, and then at that point they would consider extending it. Yeah.
Didn't they do that with the first game too? They said they were only going to do it for a certain amount of time, and then they eventually were like, we're going to keep releasing more content through the summer or something.
If I remember, because I think like in December of the first December, we got like we are now, a group of winter gear, like coats and sweaters. But then remember we had the Sheldon's, where they called Sheldon's Picks or something like that, and they were
where they added the different
weapons.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for my orange Inzap.
Yeah. Yes, there's a lot of weapons that are remakes that we need. We haven't got.
I think somebody had pointed out that we've got plenty of rollers and sniper weapons.
Yep.
Right now.
That next to no one uses.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't even the roller, like the roller was used, there was always kind of around in the first game. And I feel like I don't see it as often in this one.
Yeah, they're definitely not as common. I run into them here and there, but not like it was most matches would have a roller on one team or the other, it seemed like. Yeah, and now not anymore.
I mean, I see more snipers than rollers.
Yep.
Which was not always that way. Which I'm glad, because I used to hate those people that are good with a roller. Man, they're good.
Well, a lot of the problem was the dynamo roller, and they've all but ruined that.
Yeah.
So
it's still the carbon roller is pretty quick in this one.
Yep.
Like that's the one of the ones I don't mind getting if it's in Grisco.
yes,
Maybe they'll do a Grisco roller. You know, they've got the Grisco blaster and the Grisco Splatbrella. Maybe they can do like an oversized roller that takes up the whole map or something.
takes up the whole map. Maybe not. Would be neat if it had some kind of really cool function.
Like a multiple roller. Has 3 rollers on it or something. But yeah, I don't know. Was anybody particularly pumped on this? I mean, I'll always take free content.
I think the one big thing that will be the most quality of life benefit is the ability to swap gear before a match, even in just playing regular turf war.
But did they announce that's an option?
Yep, it's a new thing.
Oh, nice. I wonder how that's going to work as far as adding to the time in between matches. Like if somebody opens that menu up and then doesn't, like, do they just have to get their crap swapped quick, or else like the game's just going to start, or do you think it'll actually make the game hang up until somebody gets out of that menu?
I'm just wondering if we'll have a bunch of people will leave the menu open so the timer has to expire every match.
Yeah, well, I wonder if that's what it'll do. Yeah,
it's got to be a short timer, I would imagine.
The only other thing that they could do is when you're going from the results of a match and it asks you if you want to keep playing, if you could press a button there. And that way you wouldn't stay in the same group.
So. Right, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, it'd be nice to swap sometimes. Especially when you're like going through and trying to just rank up gear or add stuff to, you know, if you're trying to fill in your blank slots and you fill one up, just be able to cycle to something else.
Especially if you're using something like a drink or something that's boosting your gains.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not particularly super excited about it, but I'm always happy to get more stuff from it. I feel a little burnout after my short 350 hours with the game. After spending who knows how much time on the first game, and basically diving into this one immediately after stopping playing the first one. So splat it out.
I mean, when I see it, 140 new pieces of gear, raising level cap to 99, that's just sounding like grinding to me.
Yeah. It'll be nice, I guess, to have some new clothes and stuff to it'd be nice to be able to pick clothes based on what it looks like rather than
a couple old maps. Yeah, it's just more stuff for the stuff collection.
More stuff, more collectible. Nintendo's all about the collectibles. I mean, they've always kind of been a little bit all about the collectibles, but that's become like a like unifying thing in all of their games, like especially on the Switch, like other than maybe ARMS. Almost every
No. ARMS has you collect arms.
Different arms.
Okay. Yeah, you can have different fists and whatever. So that's it's totally a collectathon. That's like
probably not
that's
over
all
100
you get out of playing the game, really.
Yeah.
Like that's.
But I mean, Breath of the Wild, you know, it had so many different weapons and the Koroks, and Odyssey's got the moons and the different outfits, and Splatoon's got different outfits and crap. It's like everything's all about the collectibles. That's like a unifying theme that goes across almost all Nintendo first-party titles. Even Mario Kart, you're gonna unlock all the different.
Ever since Pokemon, I guess.
Yeah.
Gotta collect it all.
Gotta catch them all. Yeah. That's another one. I don't know when we're gonna get into that.
Since you brought up ARMS, and we do have our ARMS player here with us, do you know anything about the event they announced for ARMS? Some kind of fest or something?
I saw it when I logged into the game and promptly ignored it. It initially sounded kind of like a Splatfest,
Yeah.
But I didn't look deeply enough into it. I'm sorry, because it's ARMS.
Yeah, I kind of ignored it too. I saw something and I was like, well, they kind of initially remember they did the global test punch, which I thought was the stupidest name ever. Um, the Splatoon splat fire sounded or test fire sounded all right, but then the test punch seemed like a dumb thing. But obviously, it's those are their two multiplayer games, um, or competitive multiplayer games. So maybe they're just trying to throw as much Splatoon like stuff at it. I don't know if that's actually what it's going to be, is like a Splatfest type thing. It's a different dynamic in that it's not really much of a team thing. I guess you could play doubles or whatever. Um, it's a
All I
different
know
game.
about when I'm scrolling through the plethora of, new Splatoon content, Animal Crossing Pocket stuff, and then, oh, wait a minute, this is ARMS. What is this?
Yeah,
I immediately skipped over it. It does not get a like from me.
I tell you, they are definitely supporting the ARMS players, which is good. Like, I still haven't really seen any hard numbers on ARMS. I would imagine it's not been super duper successful, just based on looking through my friends list and who's playing ARMS.
Somewhere I saw some numbers on it, and it's pretty low.
Yeah,
I mean, at least compared to any of the other major titles, Splatoon or Odyssey or Zelda. But I
the
mean,
one thing
obviously,
it had on its side was that it came out at a time when there was not much else. But most of us managed to still be like, I'll just skip it.
well, as we pointed out before, it came out a few weeks after
Yeah,
Mario Kart 8 and a
right.
few weeks before Splatoon 2. So it's like there were 3 rapid fire multiplayer games all in a row, and it was the one in the middle. Of course, it was going to get forgotten,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
Mario Kart and Splatoon. Really, what was
Like
that other game again?
I think when everybody first saw it, like it kind of was a head scratcher to begin with. Like when you first saw Arms, you're like, I don't
Well,
know how I feel about this.
and especially because it was, oh great, this thing, because right, that was the first indication that the Switch had motion controls, was that ARM intro.
Yeah,
They had not mentioned it until that point.
yeah. I remember watching that trailer and being like, they're remaking Wild Gunman, and then and then I was like, oh, this is. Oh wait, no, that was 1-2 Switch. Never mind.
And then when they showed the ARMS characters like appearing over the people's heads, I thought, oh, they're doing some kind of weird VR thing now. Cool.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was going to be I mean, if they had just called it Punch Out and been like, in this one, you've got extendable arms, I think it probably still would have been better received.
They could have called it like, Punch Out, 2050 or something, right?
Punch Out stretchy arms. Yeah, like when Marvel did the 2099
Yeah.
back in the 90s series. Yeah, they could have F-Zero meets Punch Out. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like one day they should just make arms $20. I mean, any hope of saving any kind of sales or getting people back in. I feel bad for the people who do love it. Like I'm sure somebody out there, that's their game, and they're just like, man, I wish there were more people playing. There's just too much other stuff out on the Switch right now.
That's a big point. I mean,
And
right.
for a full price game, arms is an easy pass. Like,
Well, what was it? The Splatoon guys were saying, the Splatoon devs were saying that they had the first major drop that they've had in the player base was when Mario Odyssey came out, right?
yeah,
So it's that is Nintendo's problem all of a sudden is, I mean, who would believe it, but too much stuff, just too
yeah,
much stuff. Third party, first party, doesn't matter. There's just, holy crap, there's a lot coming out on this thing.
yeah. Well, one of the YouTubers that I watch now and then, Jim Sterling, who's always he almost always exclusively does videos where he's critical of every company. And he did a video the other day that was called like Nintendo is seriously killing it. And I was like, I don't think I've ever seen him do a video where he wasn't complaining. And he was just like, I can't believe Nintendo's doing so well and they have so much stuff to play. And you know, that's going to be the big takeaway. Is like there really is a lot of stuff. Like I've spent so many hours playing my Switch this year, like compared to the Wii U, which I would always just kind of have on and maybe jump into Splatoon or use it as a Netflix machine or something. There, I've of course I don't really have a lot of options since there isn't on this, but playing video games most of the time on it. Just not ARMS.
Yeah, I mean it's, you know, I've got this fancy gaming PC that I put all this money into, and at the end of the day, since the Switch came out, I've hardly touched it.
Yeah.
Really, all I play.
Even some of the games that are, you know, like Doom and Rocket League and some of the stuff like that that are on PC. I
Like
almost
Rocket League, yeah.
would rather play. I'd rather play on Switch anyway.
Yeah, I bought Rocket League on Switch. I could get a fancier, nicer, much prettier version on PC, and
Yeah.
maybe sometime down the road when it's super cheap, I will. But I mean, and I'm not even, you know, I have yet to play it handheld, but just this is my gaming machine now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? There's a certain like security blanket quality I have with carrying this thing around the house, right? I take it like in the morning, I grab it out of the dock and I carry it into, because I work from home, right? So I carry it into my office in the morning, and I might not even touch it all day, but it's just there on my desk.
Yeah,
You know,
it's easy to do.
and it's just right. There's something kind of. I mean, at first when it came out, I thought this is the kind of a backwards idea when everything else is about being able to stream whatever you want to whatever screen you want, right? That's the way the other consoles are going, is they've got all this streaming capability, so you can go play it, you know, you can stream it over to your tablet or whatever you want. And that kind of seemed like the direction Nintendo was going, because they, you know, started that direction with the Wii U, but then this is kind of a 180. It's kind of the opposite concept. It's like, no, you actually physically carry the console around. It's a very analog mindset about it. Like, I do wish that I could leave, you know, there are times where I do wish I could leave this thing in one room and play it in another. Like, they have those remote play options now. I can do that with my PC, and then I think the other consoles can do that. You can't do that with this, but you can carry it with you everywhere else. I mean, you can get, but then I still have to manually. Okay, so I'm going back to, first of all, right? We get our 20% off on cartridges, right? So physical media. I hate the fact that when I want to carry this thing around the house, I also have to carry around my little cartridge case with it.
Yeah,
that drives me nuts. It's like, oh, I'm going to carry this on the other room. What do I want to play? Well, I don't know yet. Okay, well then I got to bring this. You know, it's now several cartridges along with me and swap them out if I want to change something. That still is just maddening to me.
Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe just kind of looking at physical as like I said, Splatoon and 2 I bought physical, and I kind of now wish I hadn't, because
I regret it totally.
There's really no resell value for a game like Splatoon 2.
No.
Unless because I know I'm gonna system's gone, you know. And after the system's gone, when they finally kill the servers and stuff, you know, it's going to be worthless to have. So I don't really need the physical version.
Well, you can always crack open the multiplayer and show your grandkids. This is what I used to play when I was your age.
That's true.
Yeah, right.
But like something like a Mario Odyssey, I'm gonna play that one time and be done with it. I don't mind having it on a physical, you know, or Doom. You know, I wouldn't really play the multiplayer. You know, if I'm gonna play multiplayer, I'm gonna play Splatoon.
And there's still a little bit of that collector thing, though, too, right?
Yeah, there is that mentality.
When you go put your console out to pasture with its little collection of cartridges, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm from that generation where, like, when I first started hearing about digital, I'm like, that's stupid. Why would anybody buy digital?
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't really a problem until now.
Digital music. Yeah, even like the whole concept of iTunes to me was just, how stupid are people? But
it's almost
now.
I don't know if they did this intentionally or not, but the fact that the icons stay on your Switch is more of a slap in the face when you're thinking about digital. When you're like, I see the icon for something, but I have to get up and put the cartridge in to play that thing. Whereas on
Well,
all the other Nintendo systems, there was just a little, disc loading thing or whatever.
yeah, I prefer it this way because it's like I can right when somebody else is
Remember what
playing
you've
it.
got.
What games do you have? There they are.
Yeah. Yep.
There's no
Yeah.
okay. Well, here's all the download stuff, and then here let me break out the CD case or whatever for everything else, and you can flip through the pages.
Yeah. I'll flip through, and sometimes I'll flip to the end and then like expand my menu. I'll be like, oh yeah, Bomberman.
Yeah, when exactly? When
Puyo
are they going to
Tetris.
give us folders, please? Folders,
Yeah.
please. I just want a folder for like Hulu and Netflix and all that stuff at the very least. Come on.
I've knocked Puyo Tetris off my main screen. It's been so long since I've played that. The only reason Bomberman's on my screen is because they just did a big update on it. I did the update, but I never put the cartridge in.
What have I knocked off my main screen? I've knocked off 1-2 Switch. Yeah. And I'm embarrassed to say the Sonic Mania has dropped off my main screen. Those are the only notables.
Yeah. What a system. Anyway.
Oh, wait a minute. I've even dropped Zelda off. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
I was just going to say this to comment, kind of contrasting to what we were talking about last week and the week before, about how we're complaining that Nintendo has decided to be a gaming console with the Switch, and they don't have the streaming stuff. Yet what we're kind of saying this week is because it is a dedicated gaming console, it is comforting, and it does have an advantage over a PC or an Xbox or a PlayStation because it's a game system. And since we're little, I think all of us have had some type of game system that we've, clung to.
Yeah.
So this is kind of an interesting counterpoint to what we've been talking about. So in some way, we're saying Nintendo has succeeded.
Oh, I think it's definitely a success. I don't think any of us have ever. I mean, it
Well,
does suck that it can't do something as basic as Netflix, and obviously we got Hulu, so I don't know what they're waiting on.
Yeah, I don't know what they're waiting on now. They've set it up, at least in our minds, as a dedicated gaming console. So
Yeah.
They spent the first 9 months that it was a dedicated gaming console longer than it should have been, to be honest. In my opinion.
It still basically is, but I mean, everybody knows you've got Netflix and Hulu and YouTube on every single device with a screen in your house for the most part at this point, and it's more of just it should just be available on this too. Like it's
yeah, it's not just because it's available on any number of screens. The whole point is it should be available anywhere. Period. That's what Netflix's marketing goal is, and that's what the customer desire is, right? I would like this to be on anything that you can call a screen should be able to run Netflix, just like you can run Doom on a thermostat.
Right. Remember when the GameCube came out and it was like, oh, but it can't play DVDs like the other consoles.
Oh, that was you know what? That was I guarantee you.
Yeah, that was a big deal back then.
That was really what killed them more than anything else, and that's what made the PlayStation take off more than anything.
And Nintendo still has never had and probably never will now have a console that ever played DVDs or Blu-rays.
Yeah,
but now
they never will.
But now they're following suit into the digital age where they've got this gaming console that you can't play Netflix.
Well, I would still like to, and I'd just like
there.
to throw out. I still hold out hope that someday, eventually, Nintendo, when they sunset the Wii U, finally, when they finally are killing all support for it, they'll drop us one last update that'll let it play GameCube discs, and then you'll have one Nintendo box that will play the entire era of disc-based Nintendo games.
I think it had to have a separate laser in there for it that I bet doesn't have. Because I bet you they use different lasers for I'm sure even the Wii's that played GameCube probably had to have two separate lasers in there to read the two different discs. And
I don't buy
size thing with the GameCube being a smaller disc, they had to do something probably to help center that disc. And
no, well, you'd have to have a drive that was supported, and the Wii U may or may not. But I'm pretty sure any standard slot load drive will still take those tiny discs.
But they could make a GameCube reading peripheral for the Wii U that hooks up through the HDMI or USBs or whatever.
Nope, because you still need you still need 2 USB ports for that stupid the controller adapter.
That's true.
You run out of USB ports.
Oh, that's right. Oh, they just build the controller adapter into the peripheral. More money.
Yeah. There you go.
That would be one of the rarer items that nobody would ever buy.
Sorry, we're about as off topic as we could possibly be, aren't we?
We had some other stuff happen this week, if I recall.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
What was that stuff, Jason?
You playing a whole hell of a lot of Rocket League. How about that, Mo?
Yeah.
I have surprised myself. I've got about 30 hours into Rocket League after 7 days of it being on the market. So I would definitely say I've got my $20 worth. That's kind of been...
Plus however much you've spent on loot boxes.
Yeah. Don't go there. I'll tell you, I've spent less than the price of the game on loot boxes. But I have bought some loot boxes which, are just completely cosmetic. It just sucks that it's the blind packs, basically. You buy it and it's just a roulette wheel. It's like this box could contain or will contain one of these 12 items or whatever. And it's just a roulette wheel and it stops on what it stops. Sometimes you get a cool paint scheme. Sometimes you get cool tires or a cool goal celebration thing. Sometimes you get a stupid decal for your car. Sometimes you get a stupid decal that's only good for other certain cars that you have to win out of a loot box to be able to even use that decal.
Wow.
So, I mean, some of the stuff, but you don't need any of it. It's all, the game's self-contained in there. But yeah, I've been having a good time and a frustrating time with it because everybody is so new of the Switch players. Whenever you see a bunch of Switch players, it can be frustrating.
The handful of matches I played, on launch night was, I think there was one match that was 4 Mario cars and 4 Luigi cars. I'm pretty sure.
Luckily, you don't see as many of those.
But on launch night, it was like all Switch players, or at least the vast majority, even when you weren't selecting, Switch only.
And Samus cars.
Yeah.
So, mentioning Switch players, what Mo isn't telling is he is the number 5 Switch player currently ranked. So
for
definitely
wins. Yeah, in the category of wins, I am. They rank. You can look at everybody's overall rank, which would be like PC and Xbox and Switch all mixed together, which I'm nowhere near that. But you can also sort the list of just Switch players. So in the total number of wins right now, currently as we record this, I am the 5th most winningest Switch player. But that is just based on the number of wins. So the fact that I've got 30 hours into the game
in 7 days helps a lot.
Yeah,
that
helps a lot too.
People in the United States, right? It's regional.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well,
so
I
North
would
America,
imagine
maybe.
Probably, I would imagine it's probably regional.
So there's that just means there's 4 people in North America that have been more obsessive than you about it.
Yeah, that have been playing it more, and I haven't been.
Well,
playing
no, that's not
all
true.
The time.
There's probably a handful that have been playing it more, but just suck.
That's true. That could be too. I'm very proud tonight. I actually got my win percentage above 50% for the first time. So
wow.
I'm still working to get my goals. I would like to have my goals average at least be 1 per game. Right now, my goal average is 0.91. So I'm getting close to having a goal per game, and my win percentage is 50.5%. So out of 366 matches.
Random point, Mo. I just happen to be on my Switch at the moment, and I'm noticing you are currently logged into Rocket League.
Yeah, I was looking at my stats.
Oh, you were looking at your stats.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not playing.
You were just playing.
No, I would never do that to you guys. No.
Or to our loving audience.
I actually just slapped it. That's true. No, I
Well, that's
popped
what
in
he
so
meant
I
by
could
you
like
guys.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. All of you guys and girls out there in Nintendo Land, what up?
he would definitely do
Um,
it to us, though.
yeah, I definitely think it's I've already gotten my 20 hours. The way I look at games and value in my head is if I spend $1 per hour I'm putting into the game, then I feel like that's a good trade-off for me personally. So
Way cheaper than a movie ticket.
yeah, so like a $60 game, I feel like lifetime overall, I want to be able to say I got 60 hours out of that game.
Yeah, but but then that's where you start getting into the playtime thing, right?
That's
Is
true.
60 hours worth running back and forth across an empty Hyrule field a million times? In my opinion, no.
No, but I don't regret a moment that I've spent with Breath of the Wild, you know.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, there's
Like
really I could run back and forth across that crap for I did for
and really
300
I did
hours.
more because I rented that game first
Yeah.
because I was so like not even against Zelda. I'd never enjoyed a Zelda game, so I was like I'm going to rent this. And then like after that whatever it was 5 days that I had it, I was like Jesus, I'm going to have to buy this thing. Because I've just put so many hours into it. I was like, and literally the day I returned it to the rental store, I left the rental store and went and picked up the game. like, so, but yeah, that's a good judge. And now I've got my hours available for, or showing me for Odyssey and Doom, and I actually put the same amount of time into Odyssey as I did Doom. I've got 15 hours into both of them. So,
And if you didn't pay $15 for a rental, you come out ahead.
yeah, that's true. I paid $15 between the two of them.
There you go. You doubled your money.
So yeah, I feel like it's well
You
spent. But yeah, Rocket League's a great pickup.
you finished Doom in 15 hours?
Yeah.
No.
Is that good, bad?
I never quite. I got like with everything, I get bored about some part way through. So I guess I'm at 11 hours on PC. So I assume I'm not too far away from the end then.
Well, and the sad thing is, I ended up beating both of those games in 2 days each, but I spent a full day. The first day, pretty much a full good at least 8 hour day playing those games just straight through. So,
And that with
but yeah,
Mario, a lot of that was messing around after you've beat the game, right?
not a lot. Once credits rolled, I played around in the Mushroom Kingdom. Spoiler alert, a little bit, and then but not really. Like I went back a little bit, I guess, and kind of replayed some of the stuff, and uh, but I'd say most of that was main game. Although I feel like Odyssey is one of those games that once you've done with the main thing, you could keep going and going. Like I know there's extra levels and stuff that unlock and things like that that give you more stuff to do after the game that I just wasn't interested in doing.
Certain Mario games I've been more completionist about than others. But Galaxy, I never fully like got every last star in Galaxy. You know what I mean? But I played through a good portion of the extended game, but there's a few I didn't. I just all right, I'm done. And same thing when Galaxy 2 came out, I ended up picking it up later for cheap because it was just like, I've had enough Mario. Like I love Mario, but at some point it's like I've had my fill for a while, and it's like I don't need another Mario game for a few years.
Yeah.
Like 3D Land and 3D World, I beat both to death. But again, when it came down to 3D World, and it's like, okay, for the final star or whatever, you've got to beat this. You've got to play through the entire every single level, get every single everything with 5 different characters. And it's just like, okay, that's like right there you go. That's artificial playtime increase. That's like, oh, just play the whole game again. And then again. And then again. No, thank you.
And that's basically what they've done with Splatoon single player as well. If you're talking about replaying,
the whole unlocking
you're absolutely right.
unlocking different skins for your weapons. Yeah,
Yeah, no, totally. And I don't know why. I mean, Splatoon, the original Splatoon, it was so great, and there was so little to play on the Wii U that most of us did that, right? We unlocked everything with everybody. And Jason, you went back and did it again, didn't you? In 2?
Yeah, I've unlocked several of the weapons.
Oh, is there still more? Do you
Yeah.
you could still go through single player again and again if you so desired?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, nothing.
it's difficult to want to. Like I unlocked the hero shot, just kind of the main weapon.
And the main weapon from single player, the little yellow type gun, looks like a nail gun to me. But you can go through and you can unlock. Yeah, you can get the umbrella. You can get the splatter scope. Yeah, all of them. Rollers.
Yeah.
I have got a few of
It's
them.
all there.
It's all there.
And they're all cosmetic,
It's just,
right?
Yep.
Yeah. And it's just like, is it worth game 7 times to have different colors on weapons that you're never going to use?
Yeah, I
couldn't
can't
imagine the torture of going through the whole game with a splat charger.
That sucked in the first game. That was my least
Yeah.
favorite one to go through it with.
Yeah.
It's just slow.
Yeah, those were Amiibo unlocks, weren't they?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you didn't have to do. You didn't have to do the whole game. It was just like certain levels.
There was just like little levels.
Oh,
but yeah, this
you're
one,
right. You're right.
Yeah, this one you
didn't
got to
have
play
do
the whole
entire. I forgot
Right.
about that. You didn't have to do the entire campaign all the way through again. You just had to do segments. I
And
forgot.
little things.
Most of the levels in Splatoon, unless you're just doing some kind of crazy speed run, you're going to be spending 3 or 4 minutes per go per level, minimum.
At least. Yeah. And some of the and in the later ones they start getting much longer and more involved. Yeah.
But if one of those weapons is your main weapon, I could see you going through and being like, I want to have the special version of my main weapon.
Right.
Would have been funny if that's where they put the orange in zap.
And again, like a lot of stuff, like all the Splatoon stuff and all the new content and whatever, is most fond of pointing out, it's not for us, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is to some degree, but it's more for people that didn't play the first one.
And like I said, maybe I'm immune to the buzz and I just haven't heard a lot, but I'm really surprised that as amazing as Splatoon 1 was to us of being like a fresh thing, like this is completely different. I love it. But about Splatoon 2, other than Splatoon 2, it's a great game. But I don't hear, I'm sure there's got to be a bunch of people out there that are kind of going through what we were going through when the first one came out, where it's just like, wow, this is so much fun. So different. I just haven't heard of it.
No, you don't hear that very often. Well, because most of the people we talk to and the professionals that you follow on Twitter or whatever,
Yeah, all the people we talk to are kind of in that circle that have already been through the Splatoon thing before. Plus, now Odyssey's out. It's like, but the good thing about those games like the Splatoons and the Rocket Leagues is that those are games that you can always go back to, online multiplayer stuff, single player stuff that Nintendo pumps out all the time.
That's true.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like even I haven't put a ton of time into ARMS, and it's not spectacular, but it's still fun. It's still a change of pace, and I still like to use the motion controls. It makes me feel like I'm
right now. That's your best
getting some physical
motion control
activity.
game.
Yeah, totally. And but same thing with Splatoon. I'll pop them in and go online and whatever. And there's always a little bit of that warm up time where you're just getting your ass handed to you for the first couple rounds until you get, I don't know, at least for me, until I get back into the swing of it. For ARMS, Splatoon, or really anything, even like, when I'm playing phone games or something, if I haven't played Clash Royale for a while, it's the first couple rounds are pretty terrible. And then it's like, oh yeah. Get all the, kind of get all the muscle memory back, get all the I don't know. Maybe it's just being old.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it is nice to have those games. That it feels like those are like 2 and now Rocket League. Those are going to be my games that it's like, these are my standard games, and every now and then there's another experience that'll pop up that'll
Something
take me
new.
out of that game for a little while,
Yeah.
and then I'll go back to it.
Yeah, I haven't put much time into Rocket League only because I haven't put much time into anything, but I can already tell that, yeah, I will certainly be. Well, no, because now I'll be one of the noobs on the team that you hate. So you won't want to play with me anymore.
Still, I was only a noob for like the first couple days. It's a learning process, just like anything else, even with Splatoon. You know, that's when you first start Splatoon, it's like, sure, like when it's a brand new concept and you don't know like the things you can do, like, oh, I didn't know I could climb up a wall, or there's.
Well, if you played through the tutorial, you did, but it's there's a certain,
and there are good tutorials
in
in Rocket League too.
There's a point in Splatoon, and I'm sure with Rocket League and any other good competitive game like that, where it starts to click. You realize, like with Splatoon, it's like all of a sudden you get that sense where you're thinking like the cartoon squid. You know that any flat surface that you can get paint on is basically a floor that you can swim through, right? Once you have that mindset, and then all of a sudden it just becomes natural.
Yeah, I think in Rocket League, the motion, I'm going to say something it's very much an exaggeration. But in Rocket League, it's almost like you're on ice.
Mm-hmm.
Involved. It's getting control of the car because
it's a momentum. It's more a game of momentum than anything else.
And learning like how the ball's going to bounce or how to time yourself. Air, I got to figure out at what point I need to rocket into the air to be able to hit that. And it's like I still whiff on the ball and stuff like that more times than I care to admit. Trying to catch it in midair. That's, I think, going to take the longest is learning how to fly, hit those what are pretty much unreachable for most people. Every now and then you'll see somebody who will go way up into the air for a ball, and you're like, that guy's been playing a while. First night, especially on Switch, there were like people where you could tell like it's hour one played this game before.
Oh yeah, like the match that we had where it was 11-1. Yeah,
and it's just like, oh god, we're just getting chewed up. Bizarre match that I actually saved as a replay, where the other team was all PC players, I guess. Move the whole match. I imagine that's some sort of protest to me being a Switch player. I don't know. But they just decided not to move the whole match. And then one of the people on my team tried to block every shot that I tried to make, and they would try to score on our own goal the whole time. But eventually, once I had scored 6 goals, they just dropped out of the match.
Could they have all been like on a friend list or something?
They
How does that work?
Been on a team. Yeah, every now and then I'll notice like I'll jump into a match, 3 people on the opposite team that all have the same name, like with like a different number. But so it's you can definitely play like with your friends as a team. So I've gotten schooled by some pretty good competitive teams as well. Anyway, Rocket League.
So,
next.
Speaking about games that we can keep going back to, I know Max has been playing something this week that she really enjoys and is going back to again. So how is Skyrim?
It's pretty good. It's kind of nice having to have it on the handheld.
Does it play well, handheld?
Yeah. You can use the motion controls to aim your arrows, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's the best thing about the Switch, and I wish I don't know if they could have ever at any point trademarked that, but every game from now on that's a dual stick shooter I ever wish had Splatoon controls. The best way for motion control, in my opinion, is for aiming. Like I wished Doom had it. Splatoon's great with it. I loved it in Breath of the Wild. I'm sure it's awesome.
That was really that was a deal breaker for me for Doom when you told me that or I think I read it somewhere that it didn't have it. But yeah, it was like to me, if it played like Splatoon, I would have. I don't know that I would have paid $60 for it, but I would be
Every game that's on the
waiting for the
Switch needs
first
to just have that
sale.
as. They need to patch that into anything that's a shooter that ever comes. If Call of Duty
I-
ever comes, I want it to have those controls.
I absolutely agree, and it would change people's minds about motion controls. I think all the people that poo-poo Nintendo motion controls for shooters, I think it would change. I genuinely think it would change minds.
That's very precision. So in Skyrim, you shoot arrows with the
Yep.
motion control, kind of like
Yep.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, just pretty much the same.
Which is like a. I mean, how many times? Just for anybody listening, how many copies of Skyrim for how many different systems did you have before this?
This is my third time buying Skyrim.
So it's a triple dip. Nice.
Yeah.
For which?
Maybe one.
I have it for Xbox 360 and PS3.
Wow. Wow. Wait, you got it for both consoles that generation?
Well, the Xbox was old, so then we got the PS3, so I needed it again. The PS3 had some of the DLC, which the Xbox version didn't.
Yeah. And from what I understand, this version has like most or all of the DLC. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah. I haven't got very far into it, but yeah.
This will be the first time you'll have the opportunity to go to the bathroom and still be playing Skyrim.
Wow, really looking forward to that.
I would imagine. Or if I know you live in an area that's kind of a little bit far from stuff, so if you and the hubby be playing Skyrim in the car on the way.
Yeah, just need to get a car charger and play in the car.
Yeah, you could like hang out in a Sonic parking lot or something, and
Yeah.
Is that what you're planning, Max?
Well, I haven't been, but gosh, now that I hear about it.
See, now that you think
That's
about
great.
it, it's amazing possibilities. You could play Skyrim in all the places you've never played it before.
Which would be everywhere except the living room.
Yeah, that's a game that that's another one of those dangerous hour-eating games.
Oh yeah.
Where
Yep.
people go away when they start playing that game. You don't hear from them.
Yep.
I know that a lot of people have said that's the dangerous thing about it, is that now that it's portable, like I can literally put all these hours into Skyrim anywhere I go.
Mm-hmm.
We will need weekly updates about where you've played Skyrim. If you go to Sonic and play Skyrim, there needs to be some kind of video of this.
Yeah, actually, you're on assignment. That's your homework. Is think of the weirdest places you can bring it.
You get like little Twitter picture updates. You could be like,
that real?
Yeah, you got to take
traveling
Skyrim
gnome.
selfies places.
Okay.
Skyrim of the day.
Skyrim of the day. Yeah.
It's
it doesn't require
it's a
internet.
little cold outside. Yeah.
No.
Oh, there you go. You literally take it anywhere.
Yeah, and those games are nice too. Like the ones that it is still nice to have games there and aren't. I think the Switch is going to have a nice mixture of those definite home games and games you can take anywhere.
Yeah.
Although I took Rocket League over to my mom's house, and she's got like a little breezeway that's like attached to the house, in between the house and the garage, that's just got like a bench in it. I just sat in there playing Rocket League, and I was able to still connect to her Wi-Fi from there. Just kind of sat out away from everybody and was like, this is kind of nice. I'm on a bench outside of my home.
It's cool.
And it wasn't too bad. Yeah.
That sounds good.
But you don't have you haven't got 20 hours into Skyrim on Switch yet, right?
No, I don't think so. I keep getting interrupted. I've been able to play
Started yesterday?
Yeah. And half the time I played was making my character. So that takes a while. And
That's
then
very important.
you put a helmet on so you can't see him.
Yeah, I know. I've heard that about Skyrim Like you spend all these hours making a character that you're never gonna see.
Yeah.
It's all right. You know what it looks like.
Yeah. Occasionally it comes off because I forget to put the helmet.
Yeah. The helmet. You'll have the option to get some Link gear as well.
I know. I need to do that too.
A Hylian shield. But there's no Thomas the Tank Engine dragon, so who cares? Although you've never had. Well, I guess some of the systems had mods before, right?
Yeah, if you played it on PC,
So,
it had all kinds of mods.
but didn't they have mods on some of the other console versions available as well? Or maybe not. I don't know.
No, I don't know.
I don't know how you like for a PC you download files and
Right.
replace them.
And
Like a
replace
console,
them,
how do you mod a console version?
I thought I had heard some of the consoles. People were complaining about the
Maybe,
Switch.
I suppose.
What's this missing? And they said, "Oh, this one's not going to have any of the mods that were available elsewhere." Whatever. I think eventually, I don't know how long it's going to take. If it'll always just be in the conversation where they'll be like, "This is coming to Switch, 30 frames per second, blah blah blah." But luckily, they've kind of gotten over that in a lot of the reviews of stuff, and just been like, it's getting to the point where they're still saying, "Well, it's not quite as up to the graphical, blah blah blah, but it's still a great game, and I still give it 9 stars or whatever."
Yeah, that's getting
I
old.
don't know if that's ever going to go away. Like in 5 years, they're probably still going to be like, well, I'm used to that. Like I said, I think Doom was the one that really kind of made me a believer in it. That like I was kind of preparing myself for the worst. Like, well, the resolution's like a dynamic resolution, and the frame rates, can dip and all this stuff. And then seeing it, I don't think it took any enjoyment away from the game for me. Noticed that took away from it. So I'm convinced now they can do anything.
Yeah, that really was a great proof of concept. Thank you, Bethesda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that coming out, and Skyrim, even though it's older, I think this one does have kind of the graphical updates. The Skyrim kind of did like a remaster.
Yeah.
And I've heard, I think that the Switch one does kind of have I mean, it still doesn't look like a brand new game, but
no, it looks awful good.
Well, it's what it is. I think is it's using. It seems to be using the same models as the remaster, but right in a necessarily lower, quality, lower texture
and pretty
resolution,
much everything
whatever.
looks great on the Switch screen itself too. Like
that's true. It's a bright, shiny.
Just about when it's a great looking screen, and when stuff's that small, anything looks great. Although I play it all for the most part. I play everything docked, and I haven't had any issues. So I'm looking forward to that. Unfortunately, I still don't think LA Noire is probably going to do that great, which is sad because I feel like these are the games that their companies are dipping their toe in the water to see if there's any interest out there.
Yeah.
And I think forever, like how people were like, give us a Metroid, I'm going to forever be saying, give us a Grand Theft Auto on Switch.
Oh, I wish.
It's like Netflix. I just want it. I know they've got it on everything else. I just want it.
I know.
Just because of the point it makes,
Yeah, that's one of those chest pounding where you're just like, guess what? You can take this anywhere with you now. And I think people love that about the Switch. Like you'll hear that for almost every game. Like Doom, you can take anywhere. This is Skyrim, but it's Skyrim you can take anywhere.
Yeah, and it's the on-the-go thing was getting so obnoxious because it just feels and sounds like such a marketing buzzword. But I see it repeated. Like at first, I didn't believe this. I'm like, these people have to be shills for Nintendo. This can't be real. But it seems to be real. These are real people, on Twitter or whatever saying, "Oh, this is so great that I can take this game with me." I'm like, really? This was a thing, man. Nintendo nailed this somehow.
It must be amazing if we were to go back to our earliest podcasts, and because we very much started pretty soon after the Switch, and here started out talking about it because none of us were that confident that it would definitely be a slam dunk. But
Yeah,
we've been positive this tonight at least.
yeah, like I was saying in the beginning, give us something to be thankful for the holidays here.
Yeah, they
That
really
is
have.
true. We've been too positive this evening.
We could talk about Pokemon.
Yeah, I started to say there's some not so great things still in the list here. The top of that list is Pokemon Ultra Sun and Pokemon Ultra Moon. And I believe it was Mo that linked this article, which was a great article saying it was the worst reviewed Pokemon game.
Oh, I don't
on
think
Amazon.
It was me. But
might have been Z.
But somebody did.
Thank you, Z. Whoever did, it was a brilliant article. And so it's currently rated on Amazon Japan 2.5 stars, which is way below any other Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Yeah, people seem to hate it.
Well, we kind of saw this coming.
I think none of us, right? We all bought Sun and Moon, and who among us is buying Ultra?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah, who here, obviously I'm not a Pokemon person, but out of the three of you, who owns X and Y or one of them?
I think I have
all of them?
One.
Since Black and White, I have, because that was when I got on the bandwagon, which I know was kind of late in the game, but my wife got me into it because she used to play it when she was a kid. I started with Black and White, and I've bought every iteration since and played through them all, except Sun and Moon, which I just had a hard time.
So you skipped the
into.
first Sun and Moon, or you bought those?
I bought it.
You bought one or the other?
And the wife played, destroyed hers, played it to death, and loved it, and I just could not get into it myself.
Was she excited about Ultra? Does she want to? Is that going to be
she had a baby
under the tree?
She didn't care. Yeah.
No.
Well.
Yeah. She doesn't. I think she was just recently, ran across. Oh, there's a new version of Sun and Moon coming out, and she remembers the Black 2, White 2. So I just told her, yeah, they're doing that again, and she's like, I'm gonna go feed the baby.
Yeah, I think just the fact that they had announced that they are working on a new mainline Pokemon for Switch eventually. Which was very smart of them to not give any kind of time frame on that. They were just like, it's coming eventually. I think everyone's just like, well, I'll just wait for that then. Maybe that's what killed the 3DS. When a Pokemon game can't do great on it.
That is kind of a death knell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because how long were we buying DS Pokemon games after the 3DS came out? Was it one or two iterations?
It was Black and then Black 2, or Black and White and Black 2, White 2. Yeah, those both came out well after the 3DS.
And I don't really know if there's a lot on the horizon for the 3DS. I mean, it's a big one to be announced, wasn't it?
This was the last one, yeah.
And also the Mario Party game.
Mario Party Top 100.
Yeah.
Anyone pick that up?
Nope.
No. Nope. And the last Kirby game that came out, it had some pretty terrible reviews. I've heard
that multiplayer one.
Yeah, I've heard it's quite awful.
It was basically it was a spin-off mini game. There was a multiplayer mini game in Planet Robobot. That was something I found disappointing. Is I didn't realize when I bought Planet Robobot there was no co-op. Because it was like, ooh, download, play multiplayer, cool. I can play this with the wife. And so we set it up, and it's like, oh, you can only play these weird little multiplayer mini games. So we played them, and they were all right, but they weren't anything terribly exciting. So, and then I found out they were making an entire game based on those mini games. I was like, okay, that's a failure.
Just you wait till Kirby on Switch.
If it's a nice, epic yarn style whatever, then it'll be.
No, it's not. They already showed it. It looks like it's.
Oh,
Didn't that was that one like a multiplayer? Was that like a 4-player co-op? It seems like I remember they did that during the.
Vaguely seems like it.
It seems like that one was some sort of weird multiplayer, but I think the 3DS might be done because at some point people had to start
last Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, people had to start, developing. You're not going to put time into developing something for a portable console when the Switch is out.
And at some point, somebody's going to stop producing those low-ass resolution screens, man. They're just...
Well, and the 3D ones too, It's amazing that they've been able... I'm sure whoever the company is that makes those 3D screens is never going to make them again after the 3DS is gone.
Yeah.
Never made them before.
Getting a replacement screen for a broken
3DS
down the road.
Yeah, that's done. But also with the Switch, that's I feel like that's something that's you're just gonna have to buy a new Switch. If anything ever happens to that.
Yeah.
Hopefully
there will be means to get your data back if you do so. The cloud saves, man. Come on.
Yeah.
2017.
Well,
friggin' cloud saves.
They've had such a good year. They could really start the new year off right if they just were like, "Hey, we're."
No, but see what they're going to take away from this is, look, we can make tons of money without Netflix, without any of the friend list features or online features that people have been expecting from other consoles for 5 years. Hey, we're still killing it. We don't need to bother with that crap.
I may or may not be jumping the gun. I could be having a really awesome segue. So, the new Animal Crossing mobile game is out, and one of the little load screens on it says, "Be sure to link your My Nintendo account so that you don't risk losing your save data."
Yeah.
Yep.
Basically, it seems like Nintendo somehow has found a way to have a device that's both a portable and home device keep track of your save data still.
Well, but if you remember, Mitomo had the same little disclaimer about linking to
I just thought
account.
It was funny in light of Reggie last week saying the reason it's difficult to do cloud saves on the Switch is because it's a home device and a portable, so that makes it difficult.
Because your
cell phone can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Which I understand you could technically have data on all the time, but we knew it was ridiculous last week.
That's the most ridiculous statement that he's made in a while, and he's made some ridiculous statements.
Yeah.
That's utterly ridiculous.
I just thought it was funny that they had the audacity to put that into the load screen.
If the thing downloads if the thing's smart enough to download when it's on Wi-Fi and whatever, it's smart enough to upload cloud saves when it's on Wi-Fi. That's just asinine. That's
how to go to a McDonald's or somewhere. Let's just say you really weren't going to go home for a while. You pretty much always have free Wi-Fi.
Been able to do before smartphones, man. That's stupid.
If you're going to be away from an internet connection for that length of time, you're most likely not going to be playing video games or have anything to back up.
But no, you might be sure. You might. I'm sure there's some people out there that have never put their Switch on the internet. There's, I don't know. These people probably are not anybody I want to ever meet.
Everything's got a day one though anymore. There's some sort of update.
But you could still theoretically play it if it doesn't know it has a day one update.
Man, I don't know. It's like that's maybe. I remember when I put Doom in, I was very surprised that do you want to update now? And I just said no, I don't. And I went into the game and it loaded the game, new game, and it said you must download the update before this can start. Maybe that was only because I was online. Although I heard LA Noire is not like that you can skip stuff and just play it off of the cartridge to begin with anyway. I don't know what the download is for that, like what it does.
Yeah, any draw of having a physical cartridge is lost if it's unplayable without a download anyway.
Yeah. Kind of.
Like my dream is after the apocalypse, right? and I'm, digging through the wastelands, and I happen upon an old Switch that still works. It's like, hey, I've still got.
And somehow has a full battery. Somewhere.
And somehow you can plug it in and make it work, or whatever the case, whatever.
So there's still power after the apocalypse.
Hook it up to a coal generator or whatever the hell you got to do to make the damn thing.
There you go.
But right, I like the idea that I can theoretically pop a cartridge in. Yeah, plug it into a car battery. There you go. I like the idea that I can pop a cartridge in the thing and make it, and I can still play Doom. Well, apparently, no, I can't.
Could you rig an exercise bike to power it?
Totally.
I just wanted to keep that going. Sorry.
The professor on Gilligan's Island can do it.
That's right. If you were MacGyver, you just use some.
Yeah.
What, a toothpick and a gum wrapper, and it's like, yeah. We're playing Splatoon now.
Was there what else did we have happen this week?
Well, I mean, you've already mentioned it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were ready to get into that or not.
Yeah, that was kind of saving it for the end there, so.
Yeah.
Well, I'll choose another topic here. I don't know if anybody else has interest in this game or not, but one of the guys at Platinum Games, Hideki Kamiya, I probably butchered his name there. I'm sorry. He says, just out of the blue, he says, "Hey, Nintendo, I want to remake Beautiful Joe, and I want a sequel to Okami. I'm here ready to make it. Let's do it."
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
I never played Beautiful Joe, but I remember that being like a huge title, and I know it's got a big following. Right?
See, to me, Beautiful Joe was a product of its time, and I don't know. I haven't been back to play it recently, but I don't think it's something that would hold up quite as well. It was. But
we're also getting to the point where they're basically remaking Banjo and Kazooie. I think Crash Bandicoot had a remake.
They're pretty, It's the reboot era of video games. Yeah. That's true.
And Okami just got a HD remake for all the other systems but Switch. So I don't know what's going on there.
That would be great on the Switch with touchscreen.
Yeah. If you've never played Okami for the Wii, you're really missing something in your life. To me, it's as good as any Zelda game.
No, I never did play that. I was thinking about. I think I'm thinking of a different game. There was some game that was like an RPG pinball game, but that wasn't Okami, was it?
No, there was another game.
Odama.
Yeah.
Odama,
which was awesome, by the way. If you ever played it.
Titles run together to me. Odama, Okami, Obama,
So, did you guys ever check out Odama? It came with a microphone.
Oh, no, I never.
I had the little microphone mount for the GameCube controller, and you had to yell commands in the microphone, and half the time it wouldn't understand you. But you would yell commands to the little troops, and it was the weirdest thing. Like you were trying to break into a castle with a pinball. It was just bizarre. You'd take out troops. There'd be a bunch of troops lined up, and you'd be bouncing a pinball basically around to kill the troops and break down the doors of the castle. And it was weird, really weird. But it was fun.
I guess Platinum Games made Bayonetta, right?
Yeah.
So Nintendo funded that.
Yeah.
Nintendo made Bayonetta 2, or I don't know if they just produced it or
they published it, right?
Published it, yeah. So it's not the craziest thing in the world to be like, hey, let's do. It would be one of those things that talk about, but I don't know if it would be the biggest thing in the world, but it would. I'll always take more games. We'll see.
Quality.
Somebody's gonna buy them. Yeah, I do know that a lot of publishers have recently said that their games are still, and I know we've mentioned before, are doing really well. Somebody else was talking about it this week about how I think one of the guys who made Golf Story was talking about his decision to put it on Switch above other stuff is that because it's not the Steam thing, and Nintendo seems very anxious to have good games and exclusive content, and the eShop is such a smaller thing that they're all excited about having stuff on Switch. Like people want to be in that Nintendo party again. You know, they want to be able to get their stuff on.
Yeah,
onto the system.
I mean, I know it's a matter of scale, but I wouldn't say the Switch's eShop is very small anymore.
No, but also it's the cream rises, and with the maybe they should increase the number of on their best sellers too, because I don't remember if it stops at 20 or 25 now. You know, or what number? Maybe they should do, you know, a top 50, just to give people more visibility.
Or if they added other categories like
That's
game
true.
we recommend this week, or if we got to actually vote on, you know, give things ratings, top rated games. I mean, there's a dozen of those little things in the.
It'll ask you for your age, and then it'll be like, you give it a heart or an O.
Yeah,
like with their news section, or so 5-star or 0-star, thumbs up or thumbs down. But even something like that would be, you know, it'd be something. I'm surprised that they don't have a way to rate games on there yet. Everything on the Switch is pure gold, so there's no reason to even rate it. Everything's a 5-star.
That's true. Definitely in Nintendo's eyes.
I bet you, like, even games like Snake Pass probably did better on, you know, other systems.
Well, when you put a game on the Switch, you're appealing to a Nintendo audience, which is very loyal and is going to pay attention to your game more likely than if it's. I would imagine on Steam it would be to a needle in a haystack kind of situation.
Yeah, whereas we're thankful for everything we get for the most part.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, like, oh, somebody's putting a game out. Awesome.
They're starving over there. Let's put that on there.
Yeah. Well, I think the quote I'd heard this week was from the Steam World creator, just about his decision to bring Steam World Dig, and how it's just way overselling anything else, and you know, have stuff that's exclusive right now. So
yeah,
maybe they should let some of these people in. I'm still waiting for that Bloodstained game. It's been in development for so long now. I'm starting to get a little worried. If you remember from it's like the Castlevania kind of spiritual successor. If you guys remember that, it was a story about 2 years ago.
I don't remember that.
I don't
Wait,
even
what Kickstarter? Bloodstained?
Oh,
basically
I'm
like a Symphony of the Night.
Yeah. I'm still, the updates on that have been slow coming.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for some good news or
goal
release
for
date.
Wii U that seemed like it was impossible to hit, and then it hit that even, and then now they've said that
that was when I jumped on.
Yeah, they said they're not going to do it for the Wii U now. They were going to do it for the Switch, but I think they're planning on doing it next year. But that'll be another one of those games that'll hopefully end up getting released for all the consoles on the same day.
It looks like it ought to. It's late enough. Yeah. That and I'm still waiting for Yooka-Laylee. Those are the only two things I'm backer on. And both of them are back
out now for everything else, right?
Got switched, to Switch.
Yeah. I think Yooka-Laylee's already out for everything, though, right?
Yeah. And I was really expecting it to be out by now for Switch. They really kind of gave the impression it would be out very soon. I don't know. Looks like they're running into some issues optimizing.
Yeah. You'd figure if they get it going on the handheld, they could get it going on docked. So all they have to really do is make it look good on a handheld and make it optimized on the handheld. Rime was another one. I don't know if it was on our topic list, but did we talk about that last week, or was that this week's that came out?
I think we mentioned it last week. I don't know that anyone's playing it.
I still haven't played it, but that was one that I've just heard none but bad things. Like, this game got released and it's dropping into single-digit frames. So,
wow,
you definitely don't want that kind of thing happening when you put your game out on the Switch.
No.
if Doom can run, at 30, there's no reason your crappy indie game should, or maybe it's a good indie game, but still, there's no reason your indie game should be running at 5 frames per second.
Now,
but
since we're talking about developers and talking about developers looking bad, I guess we should address one of the biggest topics over the last probably week. It was even some mixed feelings here about whether we should bring this up, and of course,
this is when it pays to be a Nintendo fan.
That's right. We're talking about EA and Star Wars Battlefront, and I guess I should say and Disney because there was definitely some interaction there.
Yeah. I mean, basically, the long and short of it was that EA had some pretty insane microtransactions going on.
Well, and it wasn't so much. It was basically that there was a substantial portion of the game was locked behind them, and it was like you said, Mo. It's like the loot boxes. It's all blind. So people were. I was reading articles about people that were like, okay, so I was planning out to put, I was going to spend an extra $90 on top of the game. That it's like right. Like all these games that are coming out, and it's the $250 version that comes with a whole ton of in-game currency, whatever. It's
speaking of which, NBA 2K18 is on sale right now in the eShop. I noticed where you can get the $100 version of the game for $60 right now, which includes a bunch of that virtual cash for your game. But yeah, I mean I think people are getting to a point where $50 for a game. It's like if I buy a Star Wars game where Darth Vader is a playable character, and I can't play as Darth Vader unless I put in another $40 or $60. Like, I can see why people are a little pissed off at that.
Yeah. No, and but that's the way. I mean, that's the way the monetization is going, and it's getting kind of scary. Right. I mean, leave it to EA, of course. EA, they're scum. Of course, they'd be the ones that would really push it as far as they possibly could to gouge the shit out of people. But the whole concept, of a Nintendo game like Mario, right? Sure, there might be DLC for Odyssey. Will any of us care? Probably not. And we're pretty hardcore Nintendo fans.
And it won't be required. It's not like you have to do it to play as Luigi. Or maybe you do.
yeah, there might be, exactly. Yeah, there may be. But I mean, they put their toe into with Nintendo. They're slow to adopt a lot of things. And this is one of the good things that they, it's good that they've been slow to adopt this. Well,
Nintendo looks at how to make a fun game. I feel bad for like the people who have to develop these games at EA, where they say, look, to make the best game you can, but here's all this crap that you have to unlock through selling it. So try to make it as fun as you can, but also remember that it can't be too fun unless you unlock all this other crap. And this is what the minefield you have to walk through.
Well, exactly. The game for Star Wars began as, okay, we've got all these Star Wars properties, right? We got all these 3D models. We can make them look all good and look all fancy. We build a beautiful game world, and the basics are all there. They build out a nice environment, but then the time that Nintendo spends going obsessively over every nook and cranny in Breath of the Wild and adding Korok seeds is the time that EA spends breaking down the in-game economy and how they're going to charge people for crap. That's where they diverge, and you can feel it when you play the game.
But basically, fans kind of got mad at this, and it ended up leading to the all-time most downvoted Reddit comment when their guy had to try to be like, "Hey, we understand you. We'll look into it," or whatever. And I think since EA has said they're spending all microtransactions for the game,
they canned it. Yeah, before the game even the game even launched, they said, "Nope, we're suspending it. You can't. Yeah, you just basically can't buy anything." And guaranteed that was some bigwigs at Disney calling.
I'm sure Disney doesn't like
EA and saying, "Hey guys, you want to keep this Star Wars license? You fix this shit now."
No, I mean, as much as ever, I've not anybody
I
say a
wouldn't
bad
be
thing about
surprised
Disney.
if EA were to lose
yeah.
the Star Wars license gradually over this. I mean, not
Wouldn't
this
that be great?
specifically. EA, you know what I mean? EA just steps in it. EA is like EA is the I'm trying to come up with an analogy. EA is like just the biggest douchebag on the block as far as gaming companies go, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think everyone can kind of agree to that. EA is probably the most hated.
I've said it before. Like, it's the sad thing is you go on the internet, you ask any gaming forum group or any group of gamers, what do you think of EA? What's your overall opinion? Positive opinion, but so many millions of them are still out buying these games. Sends a message to other developers. We're getting to a point where we're pushing stuff too far. To try to make as much money as they can, but hopefully somebody else looks at this and is like, we're gonna have to think long and hard about how we microtransaction people like this when our game comes out.
By other people, you mean hopefully Nintendo is looking at this as saying,
yeah, I don't even think their brain is caught up. Like you said, we've established they're still, where were they at? Maybe in the 2000s or something. So it's like, so they haven't gotten to the microtransaction era yet.
Well, they have. I mean, but just, they're at the beginning of it.
Yeah,
they're very
mobile.
tentative.
Like
and here's the thing:
is where they do their microtransactions.
Here's the thing about Nintendo, and this is the difference. Every one of Nintendo's brands, like Nintendo itself, like Disney, they are so protective of everything, the presentation of everything. Like Mickey Mouse can't appear unless in the most carefully controlled Disney way, right? And it's the same thing with Mario. Nintendo controls all these characters very carefully, and they control the content of the games very carefully, generally, with the occasional thing like Animal Crossing. What was the hell was that Wii game? That terrible board game.
Amiibo Festival. Yeah.
The Amiibo Festival, right?
And other M, but...
Well,
but the list of Nintendo
mixed
thinkers you could probably count on.
No, but here's the thing: Other M has a cult following. I think there's somebody who's a semi-regular on our podcast who's a big fan of it. Isn't T a big fan of Other M? I think she is.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think she.
There's definitely certain people there are definitely certain people that really liked it. So it's got its own little cult following. So I give Other M its thing, and I haven't played it, so I can't. I have a feeling I would hate it, but
I heard someone
it's the only
say,
Metroid game I played that I didn't finish.
I was just going to say, I heard somebody saying the last week that they loved Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. I'm just saying, so that...
Who was that? Yeah, I mean, I guess everything's got it.
This person was 5 years old, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, and also now that it's $20 and that includes 2 Amiibo.
That's still too much.
The pot a little bit.
Well, I just bought some Animal Crossing Amiibo, and I think they averaged out to about $1.99 each. So
that's true, but one of them's an exclusive Amiibo, right? That you can only get in that Animal Crossing.
No,
thing,
I don't think so.
No?
Did you get that?
Couldn't you get Digby and Isabel Erstwhile?
I know you can get. I think I've got a Digby. I think, but I think I've only got one outfit. There was a summer outfit and a winter outfit. I don't remember which one came with the thing.
Winter was with the Amiibo Festival because it was released around Christmas.
So I've got one of them, but yeah, I mean, Nintendo's been pretty good about, for the most part.
Yeah.
Although it does seem like at the end of their consoles, they don't always end with a bang. Other than, I guess you can say Breath of the Wild on Wii U was pretty good.
Skyward
but that was the
Sword
first
on the Wii.
Yeah.
Metroid on the 3DS.
True, but they also got Pokemon.
They do tend to give us. They do tend to put out a swan song game.
Yeah.
Star Fox Zero on the Wii U. Good thing Breath of the Wild finally came out.
Metroid is the one that people remember. Like I said, I've still been trying to find some like definitive sales numbers on Metroid. VG Charts, which from what I understand is a pretty unreliable website, had Metroid's numbers pretty bad for sales, which I hope that's not the case, but maybe they'll port it to Switch. Who knows?
Maybe there was a lot of downloads.
I hope so. And I feel like it was a really good game, and it was well reviewed. Sorry, but yeah. So EA Battlefront.
Yeah,
debacle.
Nintendo being so protective of their brands, it's just like Disney. That's why Nintendo won't do anything to sully, hopefully. The
Luckily,
stuff
EA is waiting to decide if they're going to continue putting out stuff on the Switch. So
they can suck it. Really, the only thing I can think of that I would want out of them might be Madden. It'd be nice to have a legit football. That's the only sports game that I would really care, or the only EA game that I can think of that I would care. And I'm not a sports
I've always
guy.
liked EA's hockey games. I liked EA's Fight Night boxing games. Still, because I am such a Nintendo guy, I'm always been, when I think EA, I think EA Sports.
Yeah.
And now they've grown into a completely different monster. But that's still how I think of them, and it's just like I'm surprised that I think that's one thing I liked about Rocket League was it kind of scratched my sports itch that Nintendo for some reason is just so adverse. It's like sports game repellent. Like they just can't seem to get a sports game on any of their consoles for the most part.
And remember NES, man. That was a core component. Of course, that was early video games.
Yeah. But you had Blades of Steel and RBI and
Well, but Nintendo themselves, Nintendo Ice Hockey to me.
Well, that's true. That's true. Yeah. There was that.
But there was in the early days of video games when you were trying to come up with an idea for a game, a lot of times to just, you know what I mean? It was still a total new thing, video games.
What did the Atari have? Ice hockey. Yep. Okay, we'll make an ice hockey.
Yeah, people will know. But it was like, right? What
I guess there was a Nintendo baseball too.
A sport.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like the really early, early
Atari.
Atari.
Yeah, when it was just baseball,
was
basketball,
50%
football.
sports games. Yeah, because that was all they could come up with. Yeah.
Yeah. And now, unfortunately, all they ever make is like the Mario Sports Superstar. maybe because they keep putting up these
fun.
Yeah,
but
it's not what I want.
You want a realistic sports.
People aren't interested. People aren't interested in sports games, I guess, because this Mario sports game didn't sell very well.
Didn't Drive Club just drop for Switch?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm genuinely interested in a real world racing game. That's always something I like to pick up. I think the only one, I have like 2 games for my Xbox 360. It's Gears of War and Forza.
But there's no analog triggers on the Switch.
I know. That just kills me. Ugh. Come on, Nintendo. That kills me. This thing could have had analog triggers.
Until the Switch analog trigger edition comes out.
The Joy-Con, analog Joy-Cons. Max, I'm not getting that red Joy-Con by Thanksgiving, am I?
No, you're not.
We'll have to make this a weekly update now.
We're on Joy-Con.
I don't know, man. Play Asia, like everyone raves about how great Play Asia is, but nobody told us, oh yeah, you might wait a month.
Yeah.
It's also we're getting into the holiday season
when you ordered it, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. Like I order stuff, from overseas sellers on Amazon all the time, and I get it in a few days, like, maybe a week and a half at the most. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's really surprising me.
They got us by the golden coins, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Can't get them here.
You'll get it eventually. Well, unless you buy the Switch.
That would solve your donkey issues. Just buy another Switch.
Yeah, you get it. Think of it as you get the Joy-Con, that's $80. You get a dock, that's another $80. I mean,
90. Don't forget, that's $170, right?
No, that's right.
$30 for the charger. Wait, no, the dock comes with all that. Never mind.
You can't afford not to buy another Switch.
Yeah, and you get another non-charging Joy-Con grip. Thrown into the deal.
And a backup tablet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really should have.
Eventually, when all those charging
instead of
Joy-Con grips will eventually probably end up bundled in with the system, I would think. That seems like a real no-brainer.
Yeah.
Anyway, are we about ready to...
There's one more topic, and talking about weird things coming out. Supposedly, there's been a leak for the next arcade classics, and which is supposed to be out December 22nd. And that is Super Mario Brothers, the arcade version. And no, not that Super Mario Brothers, but the Super Mario Brothers. Not Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers. There we go.
And it's the Versus edition, by the way, which, from everything I've read, is slightly different than the regular single stand-up cabinet. And it has some other kind of, I don't know, some other kind of mode in it that the other one didn't have. So we'll have to see how that goes. All I know is that from my time in that era, it was, I just know one of the warp zones is in a different place, but it's going to be fun to play and just kind of, right? Because every one of us has just, well, I think all of us, right, have just played that original Super Mario to death.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
when I was a kid, I did, but
it's going to be weird to be playing an alternate universe version of it, where it's
Jumping
the same but different.
Jumps. Yeah.
I'm still waiting for Punch-Out. I'll probably skip this, I think.
Yeah.
Plus,
Mario?
you already know it's going to be $8. Like
$8 is hard.
Yep.
Whereas you bought the original one for $5 probably before.
If Punch-Out's a couple extra bucks, will you do it?
If it's $8, I'll do it just because it's a different version.
If it's $10, would you do it?
$19.99, he'll do it. You know it.
No, I don't know, man.
It's $60.
20
I know in my heart it's going to be $8 anyway. So, but yeah, for $10, I'd probably do it. Just because that's like the Punch-Out game that I've never played, and being such like that's in my top 3 Nintendo franchises probably. What my top 3 are. I know Metroid's there, and I know Punch-Out's there. I don't know the orders, and I don't know what the third one is.
By the way, have you guys been paying attention to the eShop?
A little bit. Why?
Like, when did Rocket League came out last week? Didn't it?
Huh, 7 days?
Last Tuesday.
Since Rocket League came out, there's like 18 more games on the eShop in the last 17 days or last 7 days.
Wow.
Yeah, stuff's dropping left and right, man. This month, really, the games are never ending.
That's more than 2 a day. That's
nuts.
Yeah.
I bet those people wish that there was some sort of categories or some way that their games wouldn't get buried in the shuffle now.
Or like I'm looking at Gear Club and hey, this looks nice, but it's $45.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said I think developers are going to either get to a point that they'll get frustrated and they'll just have to put their game on some kind of sale where they drop it a penny or something just so it shows up in its own category.
Yeah, no,
or stay on the bestsellers list.
Like there's all sorts of stuff in here that's come out in just the past week, and it's like, okay, we've already gotten to the point where people are fighting for eyeballs.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the the recent releases screen, more than half of what's on the recent releases screen has come out in the last week. It's
it's coming up. I mean, I still believe that before Christmas there's going to be some sort of Switch update that changes something on the Switch. I would think maybe aesthetically, possibly, and I would definitely think that the eShop has to relaunch or whatever. Like I said, they did their soft launch back in March. This holiday is kind of their hard launch. I would imagine there's going to be like a December 24th or 25th update, and they'll maybe clean some of that stuff up.
Nintendo seems to be very aware of the holidays and of new people coming in and wanting things to look good. So I mean, it is possible.
Yeah,
But
I mean there was
I still think it'll be January. I think there'll be nothing on that. And then there's going to be a huge January presentation, and they're just going to have, bullet points of stuff. We're having this added. We're having this added.
You remember, was it a couple of years ago when there was like, it was like or before Christmas, like Nintendo's web service stuff was just completely down for like an entire day.
Yeah.
It was
And
on
came
Christmas
back up
Day.
Yeah.
It was on Christmas Day.
But it wasn't like it was intentional because they were like updating something, which is one thing I will say I haven't noticed yet on Switch. Maybe I've just not noticed, but outages. I've noticed a couple times on Splatoon, like where the Nintendo network's been down but probably just for that game, I would imagine. But I don't notice it as much as I used to on Wii U, where they would have these large chunks where just the network's down for the day,
or even on 3DS.
By the way, Rocket League, when it launched, apparently the day it launched on Nintendo, like a bunch of their servers were down, complaining like it was pretty boneheaded of them to release this game on Switch on the day when a bunch of their servers are going to be down for maintenance. But I still had no trouble getting a game. I guess that's a
and they might
testament
have
to their servers.
Yeah, and they might have kind of planned around that.
I would imagine so. I would think they've probably got some dedicated ones for the Nintendo people.
Or they might have just also, like, if that was their regularly scheduled maintenance, they might have shifted it that week or whatever.
I don't know. Other than Z, is anybody else picking up Mario? Arcade classic?
You guys might have talked me out of it now.
I mean,
you need to experience it for all of us and for all of us.
Somebody needs to talk. I mean,
I do.
Let's say it was the original one. How much time are you really going to spend with it? Like, how much time do you really spend with the original Mario? And this is just going to be a little bit tweaked. One of those ones to be like, hey, I've got it. But once you've got it, it's one of those things that you're just like, why did I even buy that? I mean, you don't really regret it, but you just don't ever use it. Yeah.
See, Mo's talking me out of it again. But
off your main screen.
Yeah, no.
Screen in a month. No. I mean,
no, it'll be in my folder they're eventually going to give me.
That's true. Your Neo Geo games?
Yeah. All those. I don't plan to buy. Well, I might pick up a random Neo Geo game, but I have not picked up any of those.
But I bet you there's some Neo Geo I know there's Neo Geo enthusiasts out there. Somebody's like, dude, you got to get a Switch. I bet if there's a Neo Geo forum somewhere, great system the Switch is.
Yeah, how big of a following is that? Like, it seems like for any console, there's some level of following, even these weird, obscure ones that come out of China or something. But man, Neo Geo in this day and age, I don't know, man.
Yeah. They were probably helped in the beginning by the fact that there was nothing else on the eShop to buy in that price range.
Oh, totally.
They've also slowed down on their release rate too, because every game from Neo Geo is on the Switch now.
All right.
I'm not super excited. All right.
It's time.
We're moving on to the heavy hitter.
We're here for the heavy hitter. Heavy hitter. Oh my gosh.
Surprise release.
Surprise early release. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. But before we talk about Pocket Camp, I think we do need to mention Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Friend Finder. Because we all tore that up.
Yeah, I can't believe I did that.
All of us. I think maybe Z escaped it, but the rest of us were right in there with you, man. Yeah,
I know. I need lucky item cherries and lucky item clothing.
You'll need to explain this.
Says Twitter. So basically, it was the most bizarre promotional tool, I guess, for Pocket Camp. It's like Nintendo did this game that was like a web-based game that was kind of a minier version of Pocket Camp, where you had like 4 different scenarios you could visit, or little town areas, basically. Whatever. Yeah, 4 screens, and there'd be a bunch of crap on the screen, and then there'd be one or two items that were like grayed out and had a question mark. And every day when you log in, you would be awarded an item. And then that would go on one of those screens. And then you could share that to Twitter, and 10 other people could click your link and get that item for their little town. So you did it for day after day after day, trying to get these things. And the reward for doing all this was on each screen. So there was 4 different screens. Thus, there were 4 different wallpapers, which were basically just a screenshot of each of the screens. Was your reward for doing all this. I thought maybe there would be some sort of prize that would carry over to Pocket Camp or some crap, because it was linked to your Nintendo account. But nope, it was just 4 screenshots, which it's not something you had to spend a lot of time doing, though. I mean, I probably spent like seconds a day with it.
On the flip side, you get 900 platinum coins right off the bat out of Animal Crossing.
Out of the actual Pocket Camp, yeah.
Out of the real.
This
Pocket
you got
Camp,
nothing out of.
So you can spend those 900 platinum coins for more screenshots.
That's true.
And we should mention that the friend finder portion was, you answered a few questions in the beginning, and then it says, we're going to match you with your perfect animal, which I do believe are the 4 starter animals in Pocket Camp.
Yeah, see, now my starter in Pocket Camp was Apollo, he was yours in the friend finder, right?
Right. It's based on what style you choose.
Is he yours in Pocket Camp?
No, I went with the natural one, so it was Goldie.
I got Goldie.
And why I didn't go outside of what I wanted and get Jay, I don't know. I got him anyway.
It's like your starter Pokemon.
Yeah, that's my name. He's a bird. I'm a bird watcher. I mean, we're best friends.
Friend Finder had me with Kyle.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
Who seems like a real chill dog.
I had Hamlet, hamster.
You had Hamlet?
Yep.
So see, that's interesting that we all were able to, for the most part, get different animals.
I was wrong. Wow.
All of a sudden, Friend Finder is super deep.
Man, I wish I got Hamlet, man.
Yeah.
At least I got a bird.
But anyway, that was a waste of time. Speaking of wasting time, Pocket Camp's out today.
Right. If you haven't downloaded it yet, or heard about it, or heard your friends talking about it, you're probably not
You're
really
not a Nintendo fan.
Yeah.
You're not on Twitter.
You're not on Twitter or Facebook. So we've already got a little bit of results from Pocket Camp. I think it was listed as the top 10 grossing games in the Japan App Store. And it's also a top download in 8 different countries for today. So that says a lot for it.
Yeah.
The Pocket Camp anything like a Pocket Tent?
No.
No. But it could be. You could put it in your pocket. You could put Pocket Camp in your pocket next to your Pocket Tent.
Well, I was thinking you could have a Pocket Tent in Pocket Camp,
or from Pocket Camp.
Maybe. Sorry, I think I interrupted you.
No, I was gonna say I don't know. Maybe put 4 or so hours into the game today. Maybe even more.
Same here, somewhere in that neighborhood.
But I feel like I had to get started. Like, I don't see that. I don't see myself spending with it. I think it's really going to slow down. But today, because it was new, I said before we were potting, we kind of were talking, and I said that it's kind of like where the tutorial ends and the game begins. Because it's like you're kind of doing stuff, and then you're just like, well, am I still in the beginning thing, or is this the game? But yeah, I don't know. What does everyone think so far?
I may not ever open it again.
Yeah. I could forgive that.
It's reminding me of a Facebook game.
Yeah. Of what?
A Facebook game. Get 5
yeah.
Click here and help you do stuff. And
yeah, it's very socially focused, and otherwise it seems like not a ton to do.
socially focused, but then you can't really do anything with your friends.
There's that you can visit your friend's camp, and then there's a video camera that you can click on photo so that you can share it, because Nintendo maybe it's a thing in Japan, but they are obsessed with having in-game photos. Not just like taking a screen cap, but making sure you get the right pose for your characters in the game, like they're adding to Splatoon 2. And Mario Odyssey having the different stuff. Even Legend of Zelda had the weird camera poses and crap.
I kind of like that stuff.
And
but do you use it?
No. Yeah, I mean, like for like one specific thing.
Yeah. One time.
I won't use it in
try it out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something like that in Splatoon 2 now with the Amiibo. You can take a picture with your.
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
What it looks like. It's not worth scanning an Amiibo to do. No.
I wish Friend Finder had or Pocket Camp had Amiibo support. Those Amiibo cards. They should allow my IR phone to connect to my 3DS IR Amiibo reader. Which
that would
I
be
have.
a unique use.
That'd be the most amazing functionality ever.
Yeah.
Get those things. I don't know if I've seen one of those on store shelves in a while. Yeah, I don't know. I spent a lot of time with it. Got a lot of the sound effects from New Leaf in it. I've noticed a lot of the elements from New Leaf.
Speaking of random sound effects, have you had an animal in your camp jumping up and clicking their heels together?
Not yet.
No.
I've had two of them angry while they were sleeping, though.
Yes, that seems. Yes,
Yeah.
I've had that too.
I had that too. I
don't know if that's their snore. Yeah, or like the sick, whatever noise it makes. Less duck-like than that.
So, are we all getting the same animals? Basically, you get the chance to have more animals every level up you get.
Yeah, there's like Cherry and I don't know, there's
Elise,
Turquoise Frog and
Lily,
Goldie, and yeah, I think they're all so far the same animals. Bunny was an option that got unlocked. It's like as you get more animals into your camp, it's like they suggest new animals that you could go out and do chores for.
I'm just thinking, how boring is that?
Yeah, wasn't that like everybody's least favorite part of New Leaf was like the villager request type stuff where
well I mean about everyone getting the same animals.
Oh, yeah.
Cool things like
that's kind of the claim to fame of Animal Crossing, like Pokemon, is that there's so many different villagers, so many different animals. I'm guessing that I don't know how long
this will last either. I mean, it's
version. It does have Google Play achievements, and some of the achievements are like reach level 10, reach level 100.
Is there really a level 100? Because
I don't know if it goes that high.
Well, that was thinking.
Probably. You could probably. I mean, it's like Miitomo. Does that ever stop? Like you can technically still keep leveling up your style, right?
Yeah.
They might have raised the cap at some point,
but nobody cares.
But nobody wants to. Yeah. Well, that's kind of how I feel like with this. Like I feel like I spent probably 4 or 5 hours with it today, and I feel like that's like the rest of the time I spend with the game might equal that amount. Like,
yeah, agreed.
I felt like I was just kind of getting set up, learning the mechanics. It's nice to. It's a lot more forgiving when it comes to like fishing and catching bugs. Like,
yes,
you tap to like pursue the bug, and then it tells you to tap to catch it, and you tap, and it's like I haven't really missed any bugs. I haven't really missed any fish.
And if you notice,
it's always like I got a lot of horse mackerels.
It's like the same 5 fish. There's no variation.
Yeah.
You go to the beach, you get a horse mackerel, a squid, or an olive flounder,
or a blowfish.
I haven't had a blowfish yet.
I've got 2 or 3 of those. They're rare, just like the horned dynastid is the rare bug.
I got the rare bug.
I got the rare black bass.
Oh, see, I haven't got that yet. That must be a river fish.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Yeah. Or maybe I do have.
I've
But
caught
yeah,
fish.
it's pretty limited, and it's like the villagers. Yeah, there's fruit. You shake the tree, and then you got to wait 3 hours before the fruit will respawn, so that you can shake the tree again. But the villagers basically just want either a bug or a fruit or
A
a
seashell.
river fish, a seashell, some kind of combination of this stuff, and you can update your camper and take out loans from the
Giovanni.
birds. Giovanni and his crew.
I love those birds. That's the best
I
thing
know
about
you
Pocket
were a
Camp.
big fan of those from the direct.
Yeah,
Um,
pretty cool.
the birds, and they're not bad. They're like the mechanic birds. The shop is. I still haven't figured out how to like get new clothing. Really, the Able sisters have like a little shop where there's like 3 items on sale. And then
It says,
Timmy and or Tommy has a shop.
and if
Sorry,
you
it
look
says
under the crafting menu, it has
clothing
clothing
coming
coming
soon.
soon.
Yeah, well, I noticed tonight that the Able sisters like van was open. The other Mabel, Sable, Grable,
Stable.
whatever. The other one was inside sewing, but you couldn't like approach her or anything. So
No.
I'm imagining that'll unlock at some point. But the Cyrus crafts stuff for you. Basically, your villagers, the little animals, won't come visit your campsite. I don't like that aspect of it.
No.
It's like you do all this crap for them, and then you say, "Come visit my campsite," and they're like, "I would, but you need to have these 5 items."
If it was
in your
one piece of
campsite.
furniture,
Yeah.
then it'd be okay. But
If you
they
want-
want like a whole series.
I don't go to somebody's campsite unless they got a green chair. Okay, that's just how I roll. So it's like,
But they
I
want
would
like a
say,
green
screw
chair, a
you.
green desk.
Yeah, they want the whole set on display. It's tedious. I don't see a lot. I mean, the My Nintendo integration's been pretty good.
Yeah.
As Z said, you do get if you link your My Nintendo account or your Nintendo account, and then you link your Facebook and your Twitter, you basically got like 900 points or something right there. And then there's weekly goals, but like some of the weekly goals, like the best weekly goal is after doing 100, fulfilling 100 requests a week. And I'm like, 100 requests a week. That's a lot of requests. That's a lot of getting the same. I think the fact that they've shrunk down what's in it, sense because that is mobile, makes it not. You don't want to really keep going back and back and back. It's like it's the same. I feel like I've seen everything that's possible to see in the game today. Like that there's other things you can unlock. Like you could build a half pipe, or you can build a different tent. But for the most part, there's nothing that makes me go like, "Ooh, can't put it down." Like, are okay, but I don't really want to buy any. Like the little in-game tickets they have, where you can use to speed up how fast they build stuff, or some things that you want to build require tickets.
Not only are they hard to come by and expensive to buy, but when you do go to use them, they use a ton of them.
Yeah, it's like when you go to Chuck E. Cheese and you play the little skee ball machine and you get like 20 tickets out. You're like, what can I get for 20 tickets? They're like a pencil eraser.
Yeah.
It's basically the same principle. That, like, at first when I saw the direct and it was like, you'll be able to buy these tickets, and I'm thinking, like, it's like when you go to the fair. Like when I was a kid, you used to go to the fair and it was 1 ticket per ride. Now it's like 5.
Yeah.
It felt like that. Like at first, when you first start the game, she's like, I think Isabel's like, here's 50 tickets. And you're like, 50 tickets. And then it's like, do you want to do this? It takes 45 tickets. Oh my God. But I mean, that's how they make their money, I guess. But I think ultimately it's like a little mini Animal Crossing, and it's probably a nice introduction to the series for people who aren't initiated in the series and don't. Might possibly get some people to be like, this is kind of cool, I want more. Maybe I'll get a 2DS or a 3DS and Animal Crossing New Leaf. But I think for those of us who have played it, it just kind of feels like it's such a downsized experience
Yeah.
to do. Yeah.
It just makes me want a new Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much in it that's making me go like, I'm gonna have to spend money because I really want to have the coolest campsite in town.
If you really think about it, it's not that big of an upgrade from the Friend Finder browser game.
No, it really isn't.
It's just about clicking stuff over and over for no reason.
It's not even an update on like, or I don't even know if it's better than Happy Home Designer. Like,
Happy Home Designer, I put a lot of time into and still enjoy it on occasion, but
yeah,
this is just
I never
really
bought
fascinating.
that one. Yeah, but I feel like it accomplishes whatever Nintendo wants to do, which is just to get the property out there. Played in Animal Crossing, might have a lot of fun with this. Like I said, I thought it was okay, but I kept waiting for something cool to happen. I was just like, ooh, what's the cool thing that's going to happen? What's my reward for all of this? And it's just like, my reward is I can buy tickets to put up some other cosmetic stuff that I don't really care about. I do have KK Slider in my campsite, which cost 250 of those tickets.
That's the other thing I'm terrified of, is how frequently are they going to have these updates for, characters that's going to cost massive amount of tickets.
Yeah,
because they're going to have like Pascal and Leaf probably. Leaf is the creepiest Animal Crossing. Yeah.
How's Leaf creepy?
I don't know. There's something not right about that guy. Saying, keep your kids away from him.
Have you seen Zipper T Bunny or Pave? Pave is quite possibly the most disturbing animal you'll ever see.
He's just a big old queen. He's like a Mardi Gras drag queen or something. But Leaf's the kind of guy that he's glad that you get to slow down in a school zone. So he wants to take a look.
Oh gosh.
I don't trust that guy. Anyway, yeah, I'm sure they will probably do stuff like that. I don't know how many characters they have. Like, I wouldn't mind having Pascal.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Do some bong hits. Rip some bong hits in the camper with Pascal. Like, yeah, he was my favorite one of New Leaf. Like, when I was just like, I don't know why, but I really like this guy with his weird wisdom every day. But having KK Slider, it's like he kind of plays music a little bit. Without that guitar, he is completely just butt-ass naked.
Yes.
That's one thing we've learned. It's
Very
like
good
when he takes off his guitar, you're just like, oh my god, he's the only one not wearing any clothes. But yeah, he just doesn't look right without a guitar of some kind. I think pretty much everyone, you've got enough tickets. Your options are basically, for a limited time, you can add KK Slider or Tom Nook. And I know Ben's got Nook, but I think for the most part, KK Slider is probably the way to go.
And
you don't want Tom Nook hanging around.
You were talking about Pascal. One of the best things about him was the crazy things he said. And that's something that's missing. There's not great dialogue, great writing.
Yeah, his daily wisdoms. Yeah, they're just like, and then it's got little weird load screens in between, like when you're going in between the different, I don't even know what they are. I guess they're different areas, like area, the
ocean.
Beach area. Yeah, it's like river, the ocean, the bug catching area. But they got like little things where it's just like, as I'm hungry, I wish there was food all the time.
It's like a thought from
a thought from the villager, and you're like, let's read this. I just wasted my time
I
reading
stopped
this
reading
load
them
screen.
pretty
Yeah.
quickly. You really gonna help me?
Yeah.
You're really gonna help me?
Yeah.
You're really gonna help me? It's like, yeah, third time in a row.
But if you had never played Animal Crossing before, and this was your first experience, it might be kind of fascinating for a little while, maybe, but it's like I don't feel like I think the key thing that it's missing is the motivation to want to keep playing. Sort of goal, like it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere.
I think not having random villagers show up is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, or if you have a favorite villager, you know, and like, oh, I wonder if they're in here.
Like,
but for the most part, you're giving the same items to different villagers in different places. And I don't know. I mean, it's a good game, I guess. It's well made. It's like it looks like an Animal Crossing game. I'll give them that much. You know, it looks good. It's just I feel like there's nothing that makes me want more. That makes me want to keep playing it all the time, or even, you know, I'll still check in daily and get whatever the free stuff is that they're going to give me.
Yeah, exactly. To me, it feels more like it's going to be a chore than something I enjoy.
Like me, Tomo. Yeah, but I can't imagine. I think this will probably be the only week that I'll even make. Like, I think I hit 50. Yeah, like I hit like 50 completed, which I only know because of my Nintendo. But I don't know that I'm going to keep going much more with it. We'll see. Maybe they'll surprise me. Maybe the game has got some deeper thing that we just don't know, because maybe we have to get to a certain level or get a certain number of people, but I don't think so. I think you can pretty much in one day see everything that the game has to offer.
In a few hours.
Yeah. I think it gets stale. It's just there's not enough content there to make me want to keep coming back. But it was really exciting when it first launched for like an hour, when we didn't know that there was nothing there. We weren't even sure if we were going to be able to pod tonight. We're like, oh, we're all going to be so Animal Crossing game. Yeah. We made it.
We made it. We're here.
Yeah.
I got my platinum coins, man. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Done.
You got your wallpapers lined up for another couple.
Yeah. Couple more months of wallpaper, you're good. I bought my first box of Nintendo cereal.
Right on, man.
So I got an extra 50 points this week.
What kind of cereal?
Honey bunches of oats with strawberries, on Jason's suggestion.
Really? I haven't heard of that.
This was last week.
I've never heard of that. As Mo put it, it's in a very adult cereal.
It's a very adult cereal. I mean, where's the sugar, for Christ's sake? Where's the corn syrup? Like, this just tasted like fiber.
Cereal?
Yeah. I mean, it's not, I mean, I was like thinking about it. I was like, man, Post is really like it's
Thanks.
I'm not going to be able to poop unless I eat a bowl of this in the morning. Like, it's the grape nuts and the
Raisin Bran, man. Old school Raisin Bran.
That's true. Although I don't think I saw that on the Raisin. There, it seemed like it was only certain cereals that had the my Nintendo packaging stuff, but they actually had it on sale, which is what put me over the top. I was at the store and I was like, well, normally I wouldn't buy this, but it's got the Nintendo stuff that I'm a sucker for, so I'll pick up a box. It's like, let's see. I mean, it's not horrible. It's edible. I'm not saying it tastes bad. I'm just saying it ain't got nothing on Frosted Flakes. When I eat cereal, I want my teeth to hurt. And this did not do that for me.
Here's a question. Do Frosted Mini Wheats count as sugary enough for you, or is that like...
that's really borderline. Half of them do.
If you turn them all, upside, then
did they ever do an oops all frosted mini wheats? I feel like they probably did, but no. I mean,
I would buy that.
I'm still very much like, you know, an Apple Jacks and a Frosted Flakes, and like I want the kid cereals with the cute cartoony characters on them.
Apple Jacks, the first ingredient is sugar.
Yeah,
someone might
you know it's good.
Parallel to that and your love for Nintendo games, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. My man-childness comes through a little bit with my. Although I don't eat very much cereal, but yeah, I'm much more likely to go with like you know,
Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, no. As far as cereal goes, like I'm not gonna get Total. Like I'm gonna get Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries. Like I want candy in a bowl, I guess. But if it's got my Nintendo points, it's well worth it. It wasn't bad. It was okay. You better start eating some cereal, Z, if you want those wallpapers.
Yeah, no. I never signed up for Mario Run or Fire Emblem, so I'm gonna totally I'm milking them now. Right. So now
I felt like that. I downloaded Fire Emblem and played a few rounds of it and then deleted it, but I at least linked my account.
Well,
Mario Run's at least worth playing
now.
a level. Yeah.
But
Did you get Mario Run?
I'll get 6 minutes. Yeah, I just got Mario Run finally now.
Is that what my notification was? Did I get a friend request?
Yeah, that was who it was. You all got friend requests from me on Mario Run.
Awesome.
Now that there's finally something worth getting with coins, sort of. I'm just hoping that within the next 6 months. Well, they actually have software now. A few Wii U games, right?
The discounts, you mean? Oh, you were talking about. Well, those are gold, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Maybe you're right. Well, discounts, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe there will finally someday be a discount on something that I care at all about.
I keep waiting. Like I said, the Switch rewards have been coming soon for
almost a year now.
Yeah. So,
like, when did my Nintendo? When did they add the Switch rewards coming soon? I guess that was after January.
Probably when the Switch came out.
Yeah, probably in March. So, but it's been a while.
It has. It's been at least 8 months. I guess 8 months. So we're at least learning what Nintendo means when they say soon.
Well, we learned that when they said they told us many times Legend of Zelda was coming soon.
Yeah.
3 years later.
What Nintendo means by soon. We've learned that over the years.
As we noticed, the last couple of years, though, they've been pretty smart about not really mentioning something unless it was coming up. Like, I'm still not sure where Metroid Prime fits into that. I feel like just by saying in development,
I think they figure they've gotten, like, they've banked enough goodwill at this point that they can start getting away with talking about stuff well in the future again.
But if you look at, like, other than maybe that little Pocket Rumble game that I've mentioned a few times, if you look at the initial, like, Switch thing in January, we've gotten every game that they said was coming. You know, just about everything that was shown in that.
We never got Kerbal Space Program on Wii U. And there was never any cancellation announcement or anything. There was just the announcement it was coming out. So I never bought it on Steam because I'm like, ooh, touchscreen, hell yes. Because they said they were going to support all that. Never came out.
Everybody's moving on now. I think there was a lot of people that were committed to the Wii U that just kind of were like, yep, never mind. Switch is a thing. Maybe we'll come to that. But yeah, they've had a good year on at least delivering stuff that they said. And like you said, the time frames with Nintendo seem to be getting shorter, where they don't really mention a game now unless it's coming out within that same year. So
even with their news, they're just like, they just announce it the day of. There's a direct tomorrow, or there's a direct tonight.
Yeah, it's I don't know if they I don't know if that's to try to like cut down on leak stuff. Or what? Maybe we'll start getting leaks that like it's rumored that there's going to be a direct in the next week.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is all part of. It's not specifically for the leaks, but I think it's just all part of Nintendo's,
spin zone. They
intense
definitely
message control. Yeah,
whatever their idea is, they definitely have their own internal plan that they know how they want to deliver information to you, what and when they want to give it to you, and that's just how they work. I don't know.
All right.
Anyway, guys, I think
Well,
Jason's got it.
I think it's time to wrap up. Before we go, I want to give everybody a chance. This is Thanksgiving week, and this podcast will be live on Thanksgiving Day. Anybody want to share anything they're thankful about this year?
Rocket League. On Switch.
That Doom on the Switch has received, significantly positive reviews.
Max?
That to me is the biggest bellwether thus far of
and
what
for
this thing
UZ,
really
it does
take
have
off or
some
not.
motion controls, by the way.
I know, but it's not. We all know what we're talking about, and the Splatoon control scheme is something that they really thought about and really worked on, and they nailed. I think we all agree.
You can punch the air to perform a glory kill. Yeah. Sorry.
That is kind of cool.
Jason, how about you?
How about me? I'm going to go bigger scale here. I want to say that the Switch is not a failure, that we're still talking about it starting in December, and we're hopeful for next year. To me, that's the biggest Nintendo thing to be thankful for. Nintendo's not dead. So.
That's true.
You know what else I'm thankful for? This is not a repeat of the Wii U era. This is a machine that is capable enough. You know what I mean? This is not an SD machine in an HD world. Maybe it doesn't do 4K, but you know what? 4K right now is kind of like 3D TVs. We'll see. This is almost it's squarely much more powerful than anything of the previous generation. It's almost as powerful as a basic Xbone. It's in the running. Something like
360,
Doom,
not even a basic Xbone. Okay. Okay, you're saying Xbone.
Yeah, it's definitely you know what I mean? It's definitely post last generation. It's definitely significantly more powerful than anything of last generation, and it's handheld.
Yeah.
And it can do something like Doom. To me, Doom to me is in a category of pretty much, you know how it is. If you run Doom
and we're
on
going
this,
to be
then
getting Wolfenstein.
we should be able to run just about anything.
Yeah. This thing can play
games
games from last year. When's the last time Nintendo's been able to say that about platforms?
I mean, it's but right, and it's the Wii had every bit as much buzz as this thing has, but the Wii had no staying power. We all know this, right? The Wii was, at the end of the day, the Wii just couldn't cut it. The Wii couldn't take any of these third-party ports.
That's the disappointing thing about the Wii is that's their big seller. Like that has always bothered me that they're like, Nintendo had a massive hit with the Wii. It's like, a bunch of people bought it and threw it in their closet, like after
or watch Netflix on it for the next 6 years. And the kind of people who didn't understand the difference between HD and SD.
But this isn't a bowling thing. There's not just one game that people are playing. Although the first month there was.
And it's capable of supporting real third-party ports, at least, for the time being. It's gonna, as stuff becomes more optimized for the Xbone X and the PS4 Pro, then it's gonna be following further behind the curve, and it's gonna be back a little bit more.
Wolfenstein's gonna be another achievement when that finally comes out to be something like that, and hopefully these companies, or maybe Nintendo helps some of these companies, to realize how to best optimize or what they can do, and they can kind of learn from each other. But it's nice that third parties are interested.
At least a few key big ones. They don't all have to be on board. Just enough.
Max?
What?
Are you thankful for yet another copy of Skyrim?
No, not really. I'm thankful there's so many good games out for the Switch. It's consistently releasing new games that you have to pick and choose. It's not like, oh, I have to buy this game because there's nothing else to buy, like with the Wii U.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
That's true. I still haven't bought Axiom Verge. Like that's one of those ones that's been on my list, and I just haven't gotten around to it because there hasn't been enough of a lull for me to buy it yet, and there hasn't been a big enough sale yet.
Yeah.
If somebody's listening, Mo needs Axiom Verge for Christmas.
That's true. If anybody wants to holler at your boy, hit you up with a code. Tom Happ, if you're out there, I will take a review copy. About a month late. I'm waiting for it. I'll get it eventually. But yeah, it's nice to have a system where you've got so many different choices, and there's, we can count many of them as quality titles. It seems like there are a lot more quality titles than there are complete garbage titles. So
Yep.
Unfortunately, if the success keeps up, that probably will change. But right now, Nintendo's done a pretty good job at there's not a lot of $1 or $2 throwaway games just yet. So
I agree.
Optimistic podcast this week.
Yeah.
Well, we've got to be thankful for Thanksgiving, right?
Things are going right, or at least in the right direction. Yeah.
Maybe that's a sign right there that things are better with Nintendo. We're giving off positive vibes. Yeah.
We're going to have to stop doing this podcast.
Need more stuff to complain about. We've got to talk about EA more.
Well, I guess as long as Nintendo keeps being Nintendo, this will be able to go on.
Yep, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Well, there is one last thing that we are definitely all thankful for, and that is for you tuning in and listen to us drone on and on about whatever we're talking about that week. We appreciate you.
We're also thankful for our Twitter and our iTunes and Stitcher and YouTube.
That's right. Hit us up there if you are. Check us out on YouTube.
To give a nice shameless,
plug for ourselves.
Stealing Jason's thunder.
That's all right. All right. Well, have a good week, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good night. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.